for the belt, it was against the #1 guy in Texas in the Southwest. So I've always been fighting people out of state. And now going to a Fusion, I was told that they had a lot of like local fighters too, but this tournament that I'm in, it was all around the country too. So it's no different. It's just as big.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your Tapology. You are the 3rd ranked bantamweight in the US West. Did you know that?
Yeah, I look up.
He's like, yeah, I know.
We all look up our rankings.
I mean,
no biggie.
I just found out. I actually talked to my friends. I was like, hey guys, I don't know if it's because I Googled my name so many times, but I was like, Google Ethan Goodwin. And they're like, you're like one of the first to pop up. I'm like, nice. What would you, number 1, those 2 are pros. Oh, there, Roman just corrected us. Oh, yeah. He was telling me the other day. I wasn't going to say anything though.
So you're the man, huh?
You are the man at bantamweight.
Yeah, I try.
What's your fighting style? What's your background with training and
so,
what do you like to do when you get in the cage?
When I first started my martial arts experiences with Taekwondo, and I started that when I was like 4 or 5, barely able to lift up my leg. It's because my older brother did it. And I was like, this looks so cool. And I did that up until I was like 17. Then I started training MMA because Roman actually got me in. He's dating my cousin, and they're now about to be married. And he was like, just come do this, like just try out for jiu-jitsu and like just do this class. And I like loved it. And ever since then, I'm like, all right, get me on the MMA team. Get me started. I want to fight. And it's just gone uphill the whole way.
Yeah, you lost a split decision. You lost 2 decisions.
Yeah,
lost a split decision your first one. Yeah, it's crazy.
And even the second decision I lost, there was more boos for that one than the first one.
Really?
And so like I still think of it as losses, but everyone's always like, no, like I couldn't even hear any screams of like cheer for the second one I won. It was all boos in that stadium. And I was like, all right, it makes me feel a little bit better. Now I just know I've got to finish more fights, and I've finished almost all of my fights. I finished all my wins after that. So
that's good.
Yeah,
being a finisher, that's one of the things that you want to be known for, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm lucky. I've got 6 wins and 5 finishes, and it's not like it's just all one thing. It's both submissions and TKOs.
Yeah, you got some triangle chokes on there. You got some punches on there. So in other words, you're a very well-rounded fighter.
I try to be. If the sport's progressing so fast, you can't just be a one-dimensional fighter. So I'm going to try knock out some like decisions. I don't want to do too many decisions, but as many finishes as I can get.
Are you a gamer?
Yeah. You like the headset?
Yeah, I saw that. What's your game of choice?
My game of choice, Dark Souls 3. It's my
Dark
favorite
Souls 3.
game.
Is that it's PS5? PS4?
It's all of them. It's Xbox One, PlayStation, and PC.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I've been playing MLB The Show. I've been playing MLB The Show.
I've been playing so much MLB lately.
And
you should play my 9-year-old.
I don't know.
Don't play him because he juices up his players.
He's the biggest cheater.
Really?
I played him in UFC. And he played him in UFC 4, and we're playing online. And Zach's like, his guy's like, you can't beat him. I literally was beating
this guy is the welterweight version of Ubereem.
Oh wow.
And I think I knocked him down like 8 times, and he'd pop right back up, and he ends up knocking me out in the 3rd round. I'm like,
oh no,
mother.
That's terrible. Yeah, maybe I'll have to play him in a MLB. I'll probably get beat though. I'm not good at that game. Anytime I'm going on it, I turn down hitting to the easiest setting and then pitching to the hardest. It's
You guys are a bunch of wieners.
Why?
What are you guys doing that for? Like challenge yourself.
Yeah, it is challenging. Yeah, winning. I'm challenging them to be worse than me.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, enough of Xbox gamer nerds. We're all gamer nerds.
Yeah.
So when you said something interesting right before we got into that, talked about being a well-rounded fighter. I keep saying you're pretty young, right? What, 23?
23, yeah.
Yeah. So I look into it. I got into the sport late. I feel like, maybe as far as 5-10 years ago, a lot of specialists had a lot of success in the sport. But you're part of that generation and that next wave of fighters that I don't think specialists really stand a chance. certain matchups they'll do really well with. But if they fight a well-rounded fighter like yourself coming up, like it's just not going to go their way. Do you feel like that the progression of the sport and is evolving? Do you feel like that's something that's important, is to kind of weed out those specialists and just basically have organizations and fighters full of well-rounded guys?
Yeah, exactly, because specialists work when they're doing things that nobody else knows. Like jujitsu, it used to work so well because nobody knew jujitsu. They only knew wrestling, but that's give up your back if you get taken down, and that's not at all. But if you know jujitsu, you know how to get up, you're not a specialist. Or if you know how to kickbox, you know how to block punches, cover your face, you're not going to get knocked out just by a random head kick or something.
Yeah.
So and even now, I would say specialists for this generation would be people who can easily do orthodox and southpaw. But even that, hopefully by the time I'm like up there in the UFC and everything, that won't be easy, or like that won't be easy pickings for other people. That would just be the norm.
Yeah.
You just said something else that was interesting. Do you think by the time that you're ready to get to that level that the UFC will still be the goal?
I think so. I think it's just like, I could say maybe not, especially with how other promotions are
That's
like
what I was
handling
into.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like PFL is killing the game right now.
Yeah.
Bellator
It's
is
fun.
having monster
Bellator.
fighters. I just think UFC has like that it factor that they really sell out for selling out fighters, you know? It's because like, I don't know, it's like the fame. They don't have all the best fighters. Like you could go and lose to other promotions. Like look at Demetrius Johnson, who's the greatest of all time and just got knocked out in one. And
little added note, Colorado just approved ONE FC's rule sets.
Really?
Last month. So ONE FC actually could start coming. We could see them put on an event here in the United States in Colorado. They just approved like the, head kicks to a down opponent and things like that. So
nice. That could be very dangerous.
I think in the next 5 years, ONE FC could be rivaling the UFC heavily here in the United States.
Definitely.
Because they, like you said, they have guys. I mean, their flyweight division and those littler guys were deeper than the UFC's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
They have so many killers over there that people hear that, you have to be diehard to know some of those guys and watch those fights. But they have some freaking killers over there.
Yeah. But even UFC's got some shallow divisions right now. Like the flyweight division is starting to get better a little bit, but like the heavyweight division has like 3 fighters that are worthy of watching and can headline fights.
Watch yourself, Ethan. Dude, it's crazy right now. We have the biggest freak of freaks that trains at Extreme Couture now, right? Francis Ngannou.
Yep.
And then you got Gain, who we've never really seen a heavyweight that moves like him at 250 plus pounds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He bounces. Who above 185 pounds bounces?
Crazy.
Right. And then you have greatest light heavyweight and probably the greatest fighter of all time. John Jones is going to be in that mix soon. The greatest UFC heavyweight of all time, and Stipe Miocic, who is hanging around there. Like,
dude,
heavyweights are kind of coming, dude.
Yeah, they're coming. They're
just not as
for
deep.
A while,
it's just not as deep.
Yeah,
it's just not as deep
as the lightweight division or the bantamweight division.
Yeah,
those two are crazy right now.
Featherweight, bantamweight, like those. Yeah,
welterweight too. You've got like the top 7 guys are all title challengers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. See, but the difference there is for me is I don't see any of them beating Usman.
No, me neither. It's kind of depressing. Man, I used to not like Usman, but then he just keeps on beating everyone, and I'm like,
that's how we were, man.
Yep. And I was telling myself, I'm like, he's so boring. He's a decision fighter, and I kept saying that as he's finishing all these guys, and I'm like,
good.
He's turned into
looking good.
Killer.
Did you see the video of him doing leg kicks with Diego Lima?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh, there's a video of him throwing leg kicks, training with him, and he the thing that I have that made me start really paying attention to him more is he just gets better and better each fight.
Oh,
he just keeps getting better. He's 100%. Adding new things. And there's nobody, in my opinion, there may be 1 or 2 other guys in the UFC right now that has his mindset that, that Gilbert Burns fight was a perfect scenario where he gets dropped pops right back up,
Early.
gets right back into his flow, and he's moving. Then he drops burns, doesn't rush in, picks the spots, and ends up
He's
finishing.
smarter.
That fight IQ.
But he is the evolution of fighting right there.
Yep.
He switches orthodox and southpaw. He's got the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu, and now he's knocking out knockout artists. He knocked out Masvidal.
Yeah.
That was the moment when I was like, dude, nobody's beating him.
That's mine too. Yeah.
Like
I was like, I wanted Wonder Boy to have the fight, but
me and you both, bro.
As a fan of Wonder Boy, I wanted it.
Yeah.
Man.
So are you more of a fan or are you more of a fighter?
When
it comes to like UFC, are you like a fan? Because like Zack's I'm the non-fighter of the podcast. Zack's the fighter. He's a fan first. Like he's all in on the UFC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
fighting.
A fan.
Would you put fan first?
That just gets so hyped watching UFC. That's why I think it'll still be like the biggest for quite a while, because like, I don't know, it's more fun to drink and then watch fights. That's where I'm the fan at. Because sometimes like, but yeah, drinking and watching fights is insane. And then one day I'll be up there.
You better not let Roman hear you say that.
Huh?
You better not let Roman hear you say that, man.
Oh no, I never
come over to your house.
What?
I never drink what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kool-Aid. I was talking about drinking Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
No, it's just like, I mean, I love training. I love fighting and competing and stuff. But I do commentating for one of the local promotions here. We do the podcast. We watch all the fights. Like that, the sport as a whole is just so fun. And for me, competing is just a small part of it.
Yeah. Competing's a great part of it, though.
It's a great part. I mean, I love it.
I just love being like hearing the crowd scream and everything. It's just too good. It's way too good.
It's the best.
What's the biggest crowd you fought in front of?
I think it was for Tough Enough, the Thomas and Mack. It was
Thomas and Mack.
The Mack. I think it was like 14,000 people.
Yeah.
And because I won that fight by first round knockout, it was the best feeling for sure. I barely knew anybody there. And they were all screaming when I knocked the guy out. So
who did you knock out for that one?
Oregon College.
Okay.
That was a good fight too.
Oh yeah, first round. Yeah, there you go.
His record doesn't show it, but he's only fought killers, and all of his losses, he was beating them up until he got caught or just got sloppy for a second.
So I have a weird question for you.
All right, what's up?
You beat Nathan Holbrook.
Yes.
Right after, Nate the Great, right? Right after his viral video of him getting the omoplata, and everybody was all over him, and the hype was insane around him.
Oh
right?
My gosh, yeah.
How fun was that to knock him out?
That was so amazing. It wasn't even only amazing because of that. It was because he was talking so much shit. He would just talk all the smack in the world, and then he was supposed to fight. So I'm a 35er, and at that point, I was walking around at 38, 39 pounds just because I'm a slow guy or a smaller guy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to fight at 140, and I was like, okay. And then he came in at 144 pounds, and then left the arena right before we were supposed to fight. And then so that was in November we were supposed to fight, and then he kept on talking shit, and so we booked it for February, and then we fought for real that time. And anything other than a knockout, it was terrible.
So me and him, it's never been weird, but I remember it was the weirdest post. So I don't like LeBron James. It's not a secret. And I think he's a crybaby. He's a great basketball player, but I think he's a crybaby.
Sure. Understandable.
And I laughed. I laughed at him because he missed 2 free throws at the end of a game that cost his team the game. And he came at me on Facebook really hard. Who are you to be making jokes at LeBron James for missing free throws and blah, 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 and all this and that. And I'm like, dude, he makes $30 million a year. I think that's his job, is to make at least one.
Yeah.
Right? And he's and he was doing all this stuff, and he was coming at me so hard. And I just said, you put up however much money you want, no warm up. You put up as much money as you think will make me feel uncomfortable, and I guarantee you I at least go 1 for 2 from a free throw line.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
But especially because he's practicing
but I'm like,
year round.
He's supposed to be the greatest of all time, right? And I'm and I'm a 32-year-old dad, insurance agent that never even made a high school basketball team, but I'm positive you put $1,000 on the line, my 1,000 versus his 1,000 or however much, I can make 1 out of 2.
Yeah.
I'm positive.
Yeah.
And like, he just like came at me so hard with it and then like unfriended me or something. Yeah. Cyberbully, right? That's me. And I've just always been like, what a weirdo. But you watch like all the hype around that omoplata. And then I just noticed that you fought him right after that, knocked him out.
Yeah. I mean, he even got
Entertaining
Frank Mir to share it on Facebook. Like
Really?
he was, yeah, I saw that.
Dude,
I was like,
Wiz
oh
Khalifa, Nate Diaz shouted him out on social
yeah,
media.
he was on like
wild.
the front pages of Reddit and everything.
Oh, wow.
But but for sure the most nervous I've been for a fight. Cause like, so me and all my coaches, like not to sound cocky, knew he wasn't that good. And like the guy he fought was like absolute can. But yeah, but like I knew I'd go in there and beat him, but I was so nervous because I was like, what if this like
Yeah, you never know.
Fighter, like, and then the first leg kick I threw it sloppy and he kind of checked it. I was like, oh, my foot hurts.
Yeah.
But then I just went into the good mode and just freaking knocked him out. I was like, oh, thank God.
Nice.
And I think he's still salty. Like one of my teammates was like, hey, you remember Nate, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, bro, he's still like saying, oh man, that was just a fluke. Oh, I never should have lost to him. Yeah.
They were rolling with a disowned you.
That's why I was so nervous. Because the whole gym was like, Ethan, you better not lose to him or else you should just retire. I'm like, no, it's my 3rd fight. No.
You're like, stop putting this pressure on me. Don't put this pressure on me right now.
But it was all good. Thank goodness.
Heck yeah.
My first title fight, I was fighting a guy. It was a rematch. I fought him in my 2nd fight. We went to a unanimous decision, and then it was a title fight. And then the guy I was originally supposed to fight backed out. And so then they gave this kid his rematch he'd been asking for because he felt like he won the fight. Granted, 2 of the judges gave it 30-27 and the other one was 29-28. And he was complaining that the judges screwed him. Not the case. Yeah. Anyways. And so the promoter's like, hey, for this vacant title, like, let's let you guys run it back. And I was like, you got to be, because when you fight somebody and kind of like you're nervous because you don't know how hard they hit, like you don't know how strong they are, like you don't know these things. But like once you've been in there with them once and it's like it's a lot more calming because now you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Right? You know that if they punch you, like they don't have like this like unreal power. Yeah.
It's not like they're.
And so dude, I literally just walked at that guy and it was over by the end. I mean, I think I got the ground and pound with like 10, 11 seconds left in the first round. But I mean, it was cake. But my coach threatened me. He's like, if you lose to this guy, don't come back.
Yeah, it's like, always the worst guys that you're like nervous to fight because like I could be anybody else, but this guy maybe it would just suck. It would just suck.
Yep.
So,
bro.
Ethan, what do you know about your opponent that you're supposed to be fighting? Do you know anything about him?
So my opponent, I know that he lost to the guy that I was supposed to fight. Because my other opponent, Kai Stewart, I guess he couldn't make 35 anymore. So, and the guy he fought is the only person to say yes so far that I know of. Like that could be wrong, but that's what I know so far. And I think he doesn't have much wrestling or jiu-jitsu at all, but I think he's just a stand-up guy. Like, and I saw a couple of his fights. He like kind of blitzes weird, but
what's the kid's name?
Elijah Jamerson. Yeah.
Oh, Elijah Jamerson. Okay, so that Kai Stewart kid did beat him.
Yeah. I was looking forward to fighting Kai Stewart. I looked at him. He was number 1 or number 2 in wherever he's from. We were just
talking about trying to get him on the podcast because I think he's got a title fight coming up in 2 weeks or something too.
Yeah, because he was in the tournament for the 35 and 45 division. Yeah, and I was looking forward to fighting him. I'm like, I'm an amateur. Give me everyone that's number 1.
I like it. I like the mindset. Exactly.
And so this guy, he doesn't have Elijah Jamerson. He doesn't have the best record, but I'm not going to take him lightly. This could still be UFC debut, one FC debut. That's how serious I'm going to take it.
That's awesome. I love that mindset.
Yeah, you got it.
No, even so, my first fight, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I kind of just like me and my friends were just making fun of the guy that I lost that split decision to. And then I lost a split decision because like it was my first fight and I didn't know. And I'm like, wish I could take that one back. man,
It's learning experience though.
it's
Now
learning.
look at
Yeah,
your mindset. Yeah, look at your mindset now. Had you not gone through that, it might have been a
exactly.
totally different story.
That's why, like, yeah, there's split decision losses, or like some people will always be like, "Oh man, Ethan, you should have won that." Like, how are you okay with this? It's amateur, and also it's just a learning experience. Like these losses can go away, but I'm just glad because now I train way harder than I might have. Let's say I was 7-0, I might not be
Yeah.
training as hard.
Yeah.
And then the
Yep.
first time I fight like the number one in the country or something, and like he would have beat my ass or something, that would suck way worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like it, brother. I like it. Well, do you want to give us a prediction? I know the fight's a little bit out. Do you want to give us a prediction on the fight?
It's gonna be another finish for sure. I'm hoping to keep it standing because I know he doesn't have that good of wrestling or jiu-jitsu, and I know I've finished most of my fights by grappling. We got to round it out to be that well-rounded fighter. So I'm gonna try to keep it standing, and hopefully knock him out, get that head kick going.
I love it. I love the mindset, Ethan.
Thank you.
Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, I've got Road Safe. They've been sponsoring me this last fight. They're really great people, and they want to let everyone know that they're hiring all around the country, especially with how short jobs are nowadays. They're hiring. I think they're in almost all 50 states, so you can just look them up, roadsafe.com, and should be good to go. And also Contenders Clothing, actually wearing their shirt right now.
Very cool.
This is great. Yeah, so they hooked me up with a bunch of fight shorts and everything, and so I'll be wearing them for my next fight too. But both those guys are great.
Sweet, man.
Perfect.
Well,
cool.
We look forward to seeing you fight, man, and we'd love to have you back on the podcast again.
Thank
That was
you.
great conversation. I'm sure we probably could have kept talking, man. It was awesome.
For sure, all day.
Let's do it, Ethan.
Thank you.
All right, Ethan, man. Thanks again, bro. Appreciate you joining us.
Of course.
We are
Take it easy.
out.